It is Wednesday, November 5th. Had to think for a moment, and it's time for another Q&A. Great questions today about HRT. I get that one a lot, but it's worth repeating what to do about a sweet tooth. I've got a whole lot of ideas. And have I had any hair issues with creatine? Which was a great question. So thank you, Phyllis. And no, but I've had hair issues from Accutane. So I'm like really pay attention to those things. So before we dive into these questions, if you're seeing me for the first time, hi there, I'm Elizabeth from Happy, Healthy, and Hot, 59-year-old or 59-year young, double certified health and weight loss coach, author, content creator, and now three-time finalist in the Maximum Cover Girl competition in my 50s, competing with women mostly in their 20s and 30s because it is time to tell a new story about aging. You can love your body and your life at any age. I have so many amazing resources for you. One that I want to point out, um, shameless self-promotion here. Now, today's the 5th, so starting November 1st through November 10th, I have my book, Happier, Healthier, and Hotter. This is my second cookbook. It is an ebook, which you can, a lot of people print it out, including me, full of high protein, low calorie, bikini friendly recipes. This is on a very limited time special price of $10. The price is going to go back up to $21 on November 11th. So great time to take advantage of this. And I don't ever plan to put it on sale again because this is the only time I'm having a 10-year anniversary of Happy, Healthy, and Hot. So this will not be happening again. If you want it, grab it at the special price. If not, grab it at $21 later, or just don't. It's all good, but I would be remiss if I didn't share that with you. And so many other resources, my other cookbook, my journal, more on the way. But I want to dive right into these questions. So first I want to talk, I had some really good questions from Phyllis over in Scotland. So hi there, Phyllis. Um, Phyllis did say one of the things that she struggles with losing weight, and I think we're somewhere around that same age, is her sweet tooth. So that's so common, Phyllis. It's not wrong. And you can have sweets or not, but you can have sweets and not have it affect your weight journey. For some people, it's better not to. So we're going to talk about all your options and we can kind of, you can play with what works for you. So first of all, it is natural to have a sweet tooth. As babies, like breast milk is lightly sweet, as is formula. So whatever you were fed as your first taste of food as a baby was a little bit sweet. So it's natural that we like that. It's comfort, and also in nature, bitter can mean dangerous poison or needs to be tended to before we can eat it, or sweet fruit, etc., fruit, honey, that type of thing is very safe. So it is natural to like sweets. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's not interfering, if you're healthy and feeling amazing. So, back until recently, most people's sweets were things like fruit and honey. And, going back, say, a century or so, I'm not saying, until a few years ago, but sweets like desserts and sugary things and candy weren't everyday things, nor were giant sodas. They didn't exist. Oh, I don't know when Coke was invented, but it was a little bottle, not giant. All this crap didn't exist. So this hyper palatable, highly processed, it didn't exist for millennia. So the sweet tooth is natural, but unfortunately now these foods that are sweet and that we want as treats, many of them are not actually satisfying to us. We just want more and more. We get that sugar high, all the things. So I have a bunch of ideas for you, Phyllis. The first one is to prioritize protein. Build your meals. I say this every single day, but build your meals around high quality, protein dense foods. We are talking beef. I just had a ribeye for lunch, fish. It was delicious. Eggs, maybe some of the high protein dairy like cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, things like that. Fill in with colorful fruits and veggies. Make that the mainstay of your diet. I would be aiming for at least 30 grams of protein per meal. And I'd be aiming for a goal of around, overall for the day, 1 gram of protein from real food per pound of ideal body weight. Now wait, I guess your kilograms. So we're, need to do a little math here, which I'm not going to do right now. But basically, just say you weigh, I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't know how tall you are or anything, Phil. So let's just say you weigh 155 pounds. You'd like to get down to 145. I'd be aiming for 145 grams of protein per day. It's going to feel like a lot, especially getting it from real food. But what's going to happen is that you are going to feel not stuffed, satisfied, satiated. It quiets your brain. The protein leverage hypothesis states that our bodies will continue seeking food until our protein needs are met, which explains why a lot of times we have that picky after dinner, before bed, stuff like that. You want a little something or in the afternoon. A lot of times your body just doesn't get the protein it needs. So I've been blown away at the results of some women that I've worked with in the past who said, Michelle said, my desire to snack at night has vanished. That was after like 2 weeks of increasing her protein from real food. Deb, who had really struggled, knew all the things, but struggled with the sugar addiction. Just, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. So just adding in the protein, huge difference. Give that some time, see how you feel. And then it's a matter of, I'm not saying you can never have sweets. Obviously, I'm not telling you what to do. But the idea is then different things work for different people. Some people are fine with, they're like, oh yeah, I can be satisfied with just a few bites of chocolate or whatever. That's great. Other people, once they start, triggers a little something that's hard to stop. So you know yourself, like, are you an abstainer? Are you better abstaining from it once you get these cravings under control? Or are you a moderator? Can you have a little bit and walk away? That's up to you. That's more something you have to maybe play around with. I think there's a lot of variables there too. Also, there are in Happier, Healthier, and Hotter, again, shameless self-promotion, I have recipes like my 50-calorie brownies or my better peanut butter cookies, just to name a few. The 50-calorie brownies aren't necessarily, they don't really have protein, much protein in them, but they are very satisfying, made from real food ingredients. Each little brownie really only is, it's not a huge brownie, but it's like that, really is only 50 calories and so incredibly satisfying. Grain-free, sugar-free. I sweeten them with monk fruit, but you can use any like granulated non-caloric sweetener. They are so incredibly good. I have a batch in the freezer right now. I'll just take out a few if I want them. The better peanut butter cookies also have a lot of protein in them. Each cookie has 8 grams of protein, 75 calories. So, and they're clean enough, you could literally have those cookies for breakfast. So that can be one way to say, like, oh yeah, I'll have some sweets. But those sweets aren't going to set up, you're going to have some and be like, okay, that was good, and I'm done. So, or you could be the person who says, hey, like every now and then I'll have a full-size chocolate bar because I'm really in the mood for it. Not because I have some crazy craving, but because I say, wow, like certain, like after a photo shoot, like a long, like a photo, not at my own house, but like something where it was a thing. Um, my little go-to treat, I don't know, it's celebratory, is a Hershey bar with almonds. So I have that. I enjoy it. No guilt, no shame. I just move on. I don't need to have a Hershey chocolate bar with almonds after every good thing I do, but that's like my own little like post photo shoot treat. I also eat real food, but that's just so just throwing that out there. You can have a sweet tooth, you can have sweets or not, but the first thing I would recommend doing is making sure that you are prioritizing protein. Okay, also from Phyllis, um, have I had hair issues with creatine? So Phyllis said she's heard stories of people having hair breaking, falling out, etc. with creatine. Dear God, no. Like I would, that's a hard no. But I want to say, I want to talk a little bit about creatine, some of the reasons it has had a bad rap in the past, and also where I did have major hair issues was on Accutane. So I was on Accutane, I had chronic cystic acne my entire life, basically, until I finally cleared it with these lifestyle changes. I was on Accutane not once, not twice, 3 times on Accutane. And each time it really messed with my hair. So I had a lot of, especially the last time I was on it, where I was on it for an extended period of time. So this, I like, now it grows. This hair here, like I had, like it was so broken. And then I also had like somebody who was coloring it wrong. which made it worse. But my hair was so damaged from the Accutane. That was like 10 years ago. I had so much breakage, and it took a while. I don't know how long of collagen and of not over, not coloring my hair wrong, all these things. And then it started coming in like healthier, and I started having more hair. It was, again, certain areas, horrible, horrible breakage and thinning. So I haven't noticed any of that with creatine, let me tell you. Yeah, I'm not available for that. But so here's the deal with creatine. Back in, we always think of it with bodybuilders, and that's why I just never really jumped on the bandwagon. And bodybuilders, so the recommended dose of creatine is 5 grams a day. It's 1 scoop. You don't taste it if you mix it in your coffee. But bodybuilders used to load creatine. They do about 20 grams a day. So that's 4 times the recommended dose for like a month to, I think it was to get water into their muscles. But anyway, that can also lead to water retention, things like that. Some people say they feel a little water retention when they first start taking it. I did not, but something else you could do, and something that I start with like half a scoop a day, 3 grams, so like it's probably 2.5, 3 grams a day. Started out with that, and then when I felt great, but then I increased to 5, and I've never looked back. And the thing that finally convinced me to start taking creatine, it is the most research backed supplement like ever, ever. Proven results with muscle strength, like recovery, all of these things. It also helps give us more energy it's like at the mitochondrial level. So like, yes, please, something to do with our ATP. I don't even know. I'm not a scientist. I can't explain it. And at least not to the level, not to that level of detail. And then also it's improved cognitive function and neuroprotective benefits. So literally protecting the neurons of our brain. Yes, please. That is very important. So that's why I finally was convinced to start taking it. And then as an added bonus, well, better muscle definition. I literally built a better booty. Now I was doing this along with hilly walks. I've talked about all that stuff. It's not just like I took creatine and my butt improved. I took creatine and I was working out. But I saw the results of the workouts more once I started taking the creatine. So there you have it. Okay, am I an HRT? I get this question at least once a day. And I'm always happy to answer, no, I'm not, and I have not been. And I'm not against it, but it's not going to be it's not the answer. HRT is not the answer. You are the answer. You are the answer. So I'm not saying it's bad or good. It absolutely has helped some women, but you need to help yourself first. So HRT, like any of these things, aren't magic. Like you need to get the lifestyle in check. It's just like women blame menopause on weight gain. It's like, no, your habits changed around that time and you gained weight. And they say, oh, it's menopause. I didn't gain weight during menopause. Yeah, I had a lot of issues perimenopause, weight gain so much, a lot of bloating, got that stuff under control. And these are my 59-year-old post breakfast and lunch abs. I ate a giant ribeye for lunch. Yes, I did. So I didn't gain weight during menopause because I wasn't going to blame menopause for weight gain. I wasn't going to blame menopause for a body that I'm unhappy with. I decided I was going to tell a different story. And it wasn't like a one-time decision, like, oh, I'm not going to, it's a lot of small shifts, but it's hearing women say things like, oh, well, it's my age. And I would just think to myself, speak for yourself. Maybe it is your age, but it's not my age. I'm not stiff and uncomfortable because of my age. Like people get stiff and like take care of yourself, move your body. I don't mean punish your body. I mean move your body. Get your steps in. Get outside in natural light. Eat real food. When I'm talking about prioritizing protein and produce, I'm not talking about eating protein bars from the convenience store that taste like chocolate chip cookies and cream and glazed donut, whatever else. I'm talking about eating real food, about having a ribeye and green beans for lunch like I just did. I had time to sometimes I'm just grabbing something out of the fridge that's ready to go. Today I was like, no, I want to big juicy steak, and I had it. So, and it was really good. So anyway, thank you for being here. I will drop the link to purchase the cookbook for $10 in the caption, but bear in mind that will change back to $21 on November 11th. So proceed accordingly. Thanks for being here and have a fabulous day.